Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Steph. This is my second video on this channel. I thought I would be uploading more often than I am, but honestly I've just been really enjoying reading and I haven't really filmed anything. But I'm back to talk about some more books that I've read recently. Most of them will have been something I read on my phone since I found a new app to read books on, and I've just been really enjoying that. Rather than purchasing every single book that I want to read, because I do go through books quickly. But yeah, there's 3 books that I want to talk about that I own on paperback, and then the rest of them I have read on my phone, so I'll be popping a picture up on the screen somewhere here or here. So yeah, let's get right into the video. I'm going to tell you what I rate the books and a little bit about them without any spoilers. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first book that I read was Punk 57, which I'll put a little picture up on the screen over here. I absolutely love this book. It was 5-star read for me. It follows Ren and Misha. I think it's Ren, could be Ryan. I read it as Ren, so that's how I'm going to refer to it when I'm talking about the book. So Ren and Misha were put together as pen pals when they were younger, and because they thought they were the same gender, therefore they were assigned together. Quickly they realized that one's a boy and one's a girl, and they really have this great relationship where they just send letters back and forth, but they have these rules that they won't look each other up online, and they won't send pictures or anything back and forth to see what the other person looks like. Quickly they start having feelings more than just being friends. As they grow older, they continue being pen pals, and they discuss more things about like first relationships and first sexual experiences and things like that. And you know, they start feeling jealous because of the other person falling in love, or you know, dating somebody else, or whatever it may be. And it goes on for a long time. They don't know what each other look like I said. But then something happens in Misha's life. He cuts off all communication with Ren, and things kind of fizzle out from there. After a little while, I can't remember if it's like months or years later, I'm not too sure, but it's because it's been a while since I've read this book. But after a little while, they reconnect somehow, and you get to find out what happened tragically in Misha's life that made him cut off contact with Ren. And basically one of them looks the other person up so they know what they look like, and starts going to that person's school. I don't want to give too much away, but basically I'm not going to say who is who, but one person knows, one person doesn't. They kind of see that the other person is not who they thought they were through the letters, but can't deny how much feelings they have for that person. That other person still doesn't know that that is who they've been talking to. They still think, you know, that they're not talking anymore. This is like such a vague explanation, but I don't want to give too much away because it's such a good story and I absolutely love it. There's a huge twist at the end. The relationship between them is so like heart-wrenching, because you're like, he's right there in front of you and she's right there in front of you, and you don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I love this book so much. I'm not going to say anything more than that. This is the second time that I have tried to explain this book. The first time I lost the footage. But yes, I absolutely loved this book, and hopefully I didn't spoil too much of it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. You should look it up. It's absolutely amazing. Love this book so much. Read it on my phone. 5 stars. So, Stepbrother Dearest follows Alec and Greta. Alec's mother had to leave and go abroad for work, therefore sending Alec to live with his dad. When he was 17, Alec and his dad do not get along, and therefore it makes Alec act like a total jerk. So when he goes to live with his dad is already remarried and has a daughter. So it first starts out that Alec is like such a jerk to Greta and, you know, makes, you know, snotty remarks towards her, won't hang out with her or anything. And then Greta starts going out on dates and things like that, hanging out with her friends, and Alec gets like super jealous. He constantly wants Greta to stay home and hang out with him. Suddenly he has to leave for some reason, which you will find out when you read the book. Therefore, things kind of progress on that one night they only have together, and then he has to go, and that leaves Greta heartbroken. Then it follows, I think, 7 years. Yes, 7 years later, there's this tragedy that brings the two of them back together. And when he comes back, he's got a girlfriend. She's still heartbroken. She's not sure what his feelings are like. And they kind of just have to see if they can rekindle what they have together. And sort of the forced proximity of the two of them kind of makes them have to work it out between the two of them. Yeah, I absolutely love this book. It was 5 stars. My favorite Penelope Ward book. The next book I read by her was Room Hate, which I would say is probably my second favorite. It follows Amelia and Justin, and Amelia's grandmother passes away and leaves her house. I think it's a beach house, I'm pretty sure. Leaves her beach house to Justin and Amelia together, so they co-inherit the house. Because Amelia's grandmother basically raised Justin when they were younger. The two of them were like best friends, but they had sort of a falling out, and now years later, after they inherit the house together, he shows back up, but now he's got a girlfriend, and Amelia still kind of has feelings for him, but doesn't know if he feels the same way. But now it's like, again, the forced proximity trope. They are living in the same house now, and now they have to try and get along. They've inherited this house, they both own it. A lot of things happen. If I explained the main issues and things and more of the tropes in the book, I would give away too much. So basically, it's a second chance romance, I would say. You know, first the guy is kind of a jerk, then he kind of falls in love with her, that kind of thing. There's a lot more to it. It's absolutely an amazing book. I loved it. The next book I'm going to talk about, again, another Penelope Ward book, is The Crush. Another second chance romance. I feel like that's a theme with Penelope. It's from Forbidden Love one. So Farah has a crush on her best friend, her brother's best friend, and I can't remember his name. Jace. So basically, she and him, she has been in love with him since they were kids, and then suddenly Farah and Nathan's parents pass away, and Jace moves in with them to help, like, you know, make ends meet and things like that. But now it's years later. They're both in their 20s, and Nathan would be so upset if his sister and best friend got together. Farah always thinks that Jace had seen her. Am I saying right? Jace? Yeah. Farah. I have so many books to talk about. I just want to make sure I get the people right. Farah has always thought that Jace did not have feelings for her, but now that they're older now, he doesn't see her as a little sister anymore. But it's basically like forbidden love, you know? She slowly starts, you know, making little things between the two of them, like watching a movie. She'll like sit really close to him, different things like that, to see if he really, you know, grabs her attention and he likes her. Obviously it's a romance between the two of them, but they've got to keep it a secret, because if Nathan found out, he would hate the both of them. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Absolutely love this book. I love brother's best friend romance. It was really, really good. Yeah, I rated the room hate, I forgot to say, the room hate and the crush, I would rate them like 4.5 stars. Really loved them, but definitely loved Stepbrother Dearest more. Gentleman Number 9 is the next book I read. Another one by Penelope Ward. I think there's just 2 more books. This one and one more that I've read by Penelope Ward. Gentleman Number 9 follows Channing, Rory, and Amber. So Channing and Rory were and Amber were all best friends as kids, and Rory and Channing had always liked Amber, but they made a pact that the two of them would not make a move or try and date her because they were both in love with her. Then Channing goes away to school, comes back, and finds that Rory has broken the pact and is with Amber now. Then it jumps in time 2 years later. Channing now needs to rent a room because he gets a job in New York where Amber is living, and calls up Amber and was like, hey, can I rent your spare room? Really need a place to stay while I'm doing my 3-month contract position. She's like, yes, totally. She's always had a thing for him, but he didn't know she did. She's now broken up with Rory, and she's totally heartbroken. So yeah, she's totally heartbroken, and she really wants to kind of get these feelings out of her system for her friend who's living with her, and is like, I really want to be in a relationship. I really don't want to be in a relationship. I want a no strings attached kind of romance. So she goes online and hires a male escort, and she picks Gentleman Number 9. That's the name of the book. So yeah, she picks Gentleman Number 9. One day, Channing's home. She's not. He sees her laptop, opens it up, sees that she's been talking to this male escort, changes the email so that way it goes to him, and meets up at the hotel a couple days later when Amber shows up to meet this escort. And she's totally surprised, like, you know, what is Channing doing here? And so he kind of makes her an offer, basically a sort of friends with benefits sort of situation, and he's hoping that she will accept. So I'm not going to give any more away than that. Absolutely loved this one. I would say I probably would give this one a 5-star as well. I just really enjoyed the relationship between the two of them. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. The next one I read was The Anti-Boyfriend. It follows Deacon and Karis. So basically this one here I really enjoyed as well. Like, it's so hard. I would only say this one was probably about 4.5 stars for me, but this one follows, like I said, Deacon and Karis, and Deacon is Karis's next door neighbor. Karis is a single mom to a young little girl with Down syndrome, and she is struggling with, you know, mom life, parenthood, becoming a first-time mother, and she always has found Deacon like super annoying. Her bedroom is up against his at the next apartment, so whenever he brings girls home into his room, she can hear it through the walls. One day she kind of confronts him about it in the hallway and was like, hey, like, I have a kid, you know, you're a total jerk, I can hear you through the walls, you know. And he was like, oh my god, like, I'm so sorry. So yeah, he starts offering to like be like, hey, like, do you need anything? He drops by every now and again, and he really has taken a liking to her daughter. He's really easily can, you know, make her stop crying and whatnot. He's such a nice like friend to her, and he goes and picks her up coffee because he knows that she can't really get out much with, you know, being a new mom. He picks up diapers for her and things. Like, he's just super kind. And I feel like that's the part of the book that I absolutely loved. Obviously, they start hanging out a lot more. He comes over to her apartment, and one night they cross the line. And she knows that he is basically this sort of player. He's not ready to settle down. He's not ready to have kids. and that kind of complicates her life because she's starting to really fall for him, but he didn't bargain for being a stepfather or, you know, another parent in Sunny's life. So yeah, I absolutely love this book. Mostly I don't read a whole lot of books about you know, single parents and things like that, but I really did enjoy this one. So yeah, loved that one. The next thing I started reading was the Off-Campus series, which has like a lot of hype, and I honestly can say I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as people were saying they enjoyed it. That's just my personal experience. So obviously I started with The Deal. The Deal follows Hannah and Garrett, which it was absolutely a 5-star read for me, was my favorite book in the series. I actually didn't complete the series, I should say that first. So the first one follows Hannah and Garrett is the captain of the hockey team. This is a hockey romance series. It's a companion novel series, so like you should read them in order, but you don't have to understand the storylines of each book, I guess. But it does make a lot more sense if you read them together. So first one starts with the captain of the team and Hannah, and he really needs a tutor because he can't stay on the team if he doesn't get good grades. And she really likes this guy, but she kind of feels like this kind of nobody, and he's like, hey, like if you tutor me, then I will, you know, kind of fake date you, take you out to parties and stuff, make you seem like you're desirable, and, you know, get him to notice you. So she agrees to do that, and obviously the two of them start liking each other. Things happen, tutoring sessions become more than just tutoring. Absolutely loved that one. It was a 5-star read for me. Then I read The Mistake, which is the second one, follows John Logan and Grace. I'm not going to go too far into the other ones, but because it is really popular and you can just Google them. But basically it follows all the players on the hockey team. The next one I read was The Score, following Allie and Dean's. I definitely feel like the first one was my favorite, and then it kind of just went a little bit down from there. They weren't bad. I can't say that I hated them or anything. I really did enjoy the books, but I felt like it kind of just went downhill from the first one. The first one was my favorite, The Mistake was my second favorite, and then The Score was my third. I tried to read the fourth, but I couldn't get into it. Maybe it was because I read them back to back. I do want to go back and continue reading and also read the Briar U series, which is apparently the kids to the main hockey players in the Off-Campus series, so I do want to follow up with that. Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed the first one. I can't say I would say I would rate the second one like 4.5 stars, and maybe like The Score, I'd probably rate that one maybe like 3.5, 4 stars. Like I said, kind of went a little bit downhill from there, but I really did enjoy the 3 books nonetheless. Okay, so the next book I read after that was Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, and I do not have this book. I read it on my phone, so I will post a picture of the cover. They actually just updated the cover of this book, and I absolutely love the new cover more than the one that is right now. This one is Childhood Best Friends to Lovers, Second Chance Romance. I can't believe how many childhood friends to lovers / second chance romances that I have read. You don't really realize it until you kind of put them all on paper. This is a really popular book, and I don't want to give away anything. Basically, it follows 2 friends when they were younger. They absolutely loved books. They would just like say words to each other and be like, what's your favorite word, or things like that. I've read this book a while ago, so I don't remember exactly all the details, but yeah, so when they were younger, they're kind of getting older, they're showing little hints that they really like each other, and then finally they kind of confess that they like each other. I think they might even have kissed, and then things kind of happened, and it bounces back and forth between present time and, you know, back when they were children. And you know, growing up together and seeing their relationship blossom, and then something happens and therefore they haven't seen each other in a while. Now in present day, she is engaged to be married. She sees him one day, I think in a coffee shop, and they're kind of just at this like friendly stage, but she's always like, oh my gosh, I've been in love with him, like I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. And it kind of just like a second, like I said, a second chance romance. They rekindle what they had before. Absolutely loved this book. I thought it was such a beautiful book. Rated at 5 stars. I feel like I rate a lot of books 5 stars, but I'm reading all of these books that over the span of a couple of years have become really popular, and I'm choosing the popular ones because I know I'm gonna love them. But yeah, that's why. But I absolutely loved that one. The next book I read, I think I skipped over a book. Between Room Hate and The Crush, I read Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, and this is my second to last book to talk about. So, oh sorry, actually I have 2 more books after this one to talk about. I read Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. Absolutely love this one. 5 stars. I feel like I say absolutely love them about every book, but honestly I try to pick books that are highly rated, therefore I'm going to enjoy them. So this book follows Bea and Samson, and Bea's had this like really rough upbringing. Her mom does a lot of drugs. She lives in like a trailer. She's had a really hard life, and I'm not going to say any spoilers. You find this out really quickly that her mom dies, and now she needs to go live with her dad. Her dad lives this very like luxurious life. He's got a new wife. He's got a daughter, a stepdaughter, and she decides to go live with him because she has nowhere else to go. And she meets her stepsister's friends, one of them being Samson, and they have a summer romance. I absolutely love this one. It's more of a young adult compared to all of Colleen's reads. I did read this one on my phone because I was reading it at home and as well at work, and I don't like to take my books in my bag to work just because I don't want them to get ruined. And so this one has not been read, but I have it on my shelf because I do collect Colleen Hoover's books, just because I love her. But yeah, I absolutely love this book. There's a big twist at the end. You find out some crazy things that you never would have expected. Such a huge twist. Loved this book. The next book I read was, honestly, I can't stop thinking about this book. It was a 5 star. If I could rate it more than 5 stars, like, I loved this book so much. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Got this one on sale on Amazon, and I purchased it before it was really popular, and I had it on my TBR list for a while. Just finished reading it just a few days ago, and it's honestly one of my favorite books. I love this so much. Rom-com. It's about a student. He's a teacher, and she's been like hanging out with this guy, and things didn't really go too well, but he really hit it off with her best friend, and she was like, you know, I wasn't really into him, you can totally have him. And she was like, no, like that's against girl code. So to prove to her friend that she's not interested in this guy anymore, she kisses the first person she sees, which happens to be him. And he is kind of like weirded out at first, but then they make this pact that's kind of in it for both of them. So they start fake dating. He needs her to show that like he's grounded, he's not leaving, so that way they can release his funds for him to do his practices, and she needs him to keep up this ruse so that way her best friend will go and date this guy that she used to date, and see that she is over him. So obviously these two fall in love, and it is such a cute love story. I loved it so much. Very spicy towards the end. Really enjoyed this book. Really did. Then after I read that one, I was like, I just really want the rom-com vibes. So I googled some really popular rom-coms, and one of them I guess I just really didn't look into exactly what it was about, but it was something that was on my TBR list, which is The Spanish Love Deception. And just read this one recently, so it's still fresh in my mind. I'm not sure if I liked it more than this one. I feel like I can't rate it. I rated it 5 stars. I don't know if I can say that I liked it more than this one. I think I liked them both equally. They both gave me the same sort of vibes. So this Spanish Love Deception follows 2 characters who work together. It's like an office romance, fake dating. I absolutely love the fake dating trope. So yeah, it follows the 2 of them, and she needs a date for her sister's wedding back in Spain. And the last time that she was in Spain was 3 years ago. She was in love with her, it's gonna be kind of confusing, her sister's soon-to-be husband's brother. And they kind of had this really bad breakup, and she moved away and came to New York to start her career. Now she needs to go back, and she can't show up to the wedding without a date because it will seem like she never got over him, finding out now that he's engaged to be married. And she's like, it will seem so depressing, like all my family will talk about it if I show up without somebody. So she decides, you know, what am I gonna do? I need to find somebody. Behind her in the coffee shop is her enemy, her co-worker Aaron Blackford, and he just like stands up and's like, hey, like, I will be your fake date. If you want me to go with you, I will do it. And she's like, why would you offer, you know, we're not even friends, this doesn't make sense. And it takes a lot of convincing, but she decides to take him, and she's just like, I don't know what's in it for him, like he's not getting anything out of this. Obviously he secretly has affection towards her. But as they're going to the wedding and kind of putting up this ruse in front of the family, she's like, oh, he's only being sweet like this because we're fake dating, we have to make this believable. But he is not feeling that way. He's doing all these things and he's saying all these things because they're true, and that is the way he feels. But she doesn't see it that way, and obviously, you know, she finds out differently, and it becomes this romance. But it's absolutely beautiful story. I loved it so much. I felt like there was a lot of controversy on TikTok about this book, and it was kind of a little bit daring going into it, because I was like, am I gonna be the, you know, 50% that absolutely loves it, or the 50% that was like, this book just didn't do it for me? But I loved this book so much, and I feel like if you loved The Love Hypothesis, you would absolutely love The Spanish Love Deception. I did find the one thing which was really hard for me is in the beginning, I felt like it really stretched out, and you didn't really get that like romance, that spicy scenes towards the end, which wasn't exactly what I was looking for. But I was looking for a little bit more of a like a gradual build up, but instead I felt like the beginning just really dragged out. Like the her deciding whether she was going to take him or not was like quite a few chapters. So that was kind of giving into that like, ooh, am I going to be that percentage that doesn't like this book? But then as I got into it, I was like, before I even finished the book, I was like, this is definitely going to be a 5-star read for me. Absolutely loved that book. And the book I'm currently reading is The Kiss Quotient, which I've heard is another rom-com, and I guess I will follow up on that one when I'm finished with it, but so far I'm really liking it. Alrighty, so that is all of the books that I've read recently. I actually was supposed to be uploading a haul video of books, and I currently, let's see if I can show you up here. I currently have a bunch of parcels up here of books that I'm super excited to be unboxing and showing. And it's taking me everything in me not to open those parcels right now and get the books out, but I want to do an unboxing. So I'm just waiting for a few more books to come in the mail, and I will be filming that. But yeah, that is all the books I've read recently, and I'm super excited to read some more. So hope everyone has a lovely day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.